Me, you too. It's your boy Season, and I'm back with another reaction video. Today's reaction video, we're looking at Saga the Youngin, excuse me. A Hobo caught me lacking at Taco Bell. Don't forget to leave a like, comment on the video. If you're brand new to the channel, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Also, don't forget to turn on post notifications so you'll never miss an upload. Also, don't forget to watch the full reaction video. Thank you for all the brand new subscribers. We steadily growing every day, growing. Yeah, we almost to 1K. Y'all keep liking the video, keep videos. Yeah, let's get straight into it.
I'd like to give a quick shout out to Skillshare for sponsoring today's video, but more on that at the end of the video. So before YouTube, I had two main jobs that I worked. One, as I'm sure you guys who watch the channel probably know, was at a fast food restaurant, and the other was I used to be a charger for those electric scooter companies. If you live in a big city, or a lot of college cities too, at least in America,
I wanted to always do that, but I couldn't never find a company to do the whole scooter thing.
I'm sure you've seen those scooters chilling on the side of the street before.
Yep,
and if you don't know what I'm talking about, they're basically these public scooters that you can scan with your phone and pay to use them to get around the city quicker instead of walking. And so I used to be a charger for those scooter companies because everybody rides them around everywhere during the day, but then they need to be charged at some point so they're ready to use for the next day. And the way the job worked was starting at 9 or 10 p.m., all the chargers would go out and collect the scooters that had low battery from the street, and the app would tell you where to find them at. I would bring them back to my dorm room and charge them in there because I was in college at the time. And the more scooters you charged, the more you got paid. So they would all get collected from the streets pretty quickly. The thing is, even though you'd start charging them at like 9 or 10 p.m., it wouldn't really finish until like 2, 3, sometimes 4 in the morning. But this is also when I was first starting my channel, so on the nights that I charged scooters, I usually just grind on animations while waiting for them to finish charging anyways. But when it came time to put them back on the street, like I said, it would be like 2, 3, 4 in the morning. And let me tell you, after dozens and dozens of nights of walking around town, night after night at like 3 a.m., you see some interesting stuff to say the least. I have a lot of stories of just weird and the most random things I saw from constantly being out at that time. I remember this one night, you know the big price tags Walmart has in their stores above whatever product they're selling? I saw this dude one night sprinting down the street at like 3 a.m. with 4 or 5 of those price tag signs that I guess he stole from Walmart and thought he had something valuable, running like he just robbed a bank. Have no idea what you would want Walmart signs for. Man saw 1998 and thought it was actually worth that amount. Another time, a couple different times actually, I'd see people yeeting those electric scooters off of this one bridge, just down into the water below. And in addition to random stuff like that, there were a lot of homeless in the area, people living on the streets, late night drunk people, crackheads, and everything in between. So there was a lot of room for interesting situations. And to give an example, so both me and my one roommate used to do this, right? We used to both be charging the scooters. There was this one night at like 2 a.m. my roommate busts through the door with a scooter, and he's panting and breathing all heavy like he just ran a marathon or something. And I'm like, bro, what happened? And he tells me, he's like, bro, someone just tried to jump me out there by trying to use this scooter as bait. And he went on to explain how he was out looking for a scooter to charge, following where the app would lead him to, and he kept beeping the alarm to help him locate it. And then off in the distance, he sees like this dark figure quickly come out from behind this dark building and put the scooter out in the open, out on the sidewalk. And so he's thinking like, okay, that's kind of weird. And he walks up to it and scans it with the app so he can unlock it. And then all of a sudden, he hears this sound and looks over to his left and just sees this dude with full black on ski mask sprinting at him with full force. So he panics and hurries up to get the scooter going. This dude's running after him, but he gets the scooter going and picks up speed just in time to get away from the dude, because those things do go like 20 miles an hour. They go pretty fast, and he was able to just ride away from him. So that dude knew that the scooter chargers would come looking for the scooter, and knowing that, he basically used the scooter to set a trap, knowing someone would come after it, like my roommate ended up doing. Then rob him, steal his wallet, whatever he was gonna do. Luckily for my roommate, his timing was so bad and he was able to get away. So the scooter collecting didn't always go so smoothly. So I was usually pretty tired and just wanted to get all the scooters dropped off and then go back to my room and go to bed. So I'd go out there, mind my own business, do my thing. It'd usually only take like 20 minutes or so to move them all from my dorm room back down to the street. But there was this one night in particular that it did not go that way at all. So I'm in my dorm room on this particular night, waiting for the scooters to finish charging. It's 1 a.m., 2 a.m., finally 3 a.m., they finish charging, right? I'd usually stack them on top of each other so I could ride like 3 at once, take fewer trips, right? So I go take the first trip, come back, take another, and then finish up with the last trip with the last group of scooters. So I just dropped them all off at the drop-off area. I remember it being really late, like around 4 a.m., and as I'm walking back, I'm like, you know what? I'm low-key kind of hungry. I could go for food right about now. But it's like 4 in the morning, so the only thing really open that wasn't way out of the way was Taco Bell. So I'm like, alright, fine, let me go to Taco Bell, go get myself some tacos. And this Taco Bell, for some reason, was always popping, no matter the time. I'm telling you, middle of the day, middle of the night, there was just always mad people congregated outside this Taco Bell. They actually had security guards overnight outside of this particular Taco Bell. Only Taco Bell I've ever seen with guards on the outside. But I guess they needed them because shenanigans would happen from time to time, as they would on this night, as you'll see. So I make my way through the crowd out front, order my food, and just start waiting for my food to come out. So I'm standing there in the back of this Taco Bell, and I notice out of the corner of my eye some commotion going on outside one of the windows. And there's this really raggedy looking guy outside that's like pointing at me and waving his arms around all aggressively. There was this guy next to me also waiting for his food, and he asked me, he's like, yo bro, do you know that guy? Because it looks like he's trying to get your attention. And I was all confused. I'm like, nah, I've never seen him in my life. And then he starts giving me the finger with both of his hands while looking all pissed off and making like direct eye contact with me. And I can't hear him, but I can also tell that he's yelling something through the other side of the window. And I'm just trying to think, like, did I do something while I was walking in that I didn't notice or what? But I just ignore it and hope that the problem will go away and go back to waiting for my Doritos, Locos, Nachos, Tacos or whatever. But in my head, I'm thinking like, okay, what's the plan when I gotta leave? Do I go out the front and get ready for a confrontation? Do I gotta get ready to throw hands? Like, should I try to sneak around the back without him noticing or what? So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna leave, but then out of my peripheral vision, I see the door to the entrance swing open. I look over and it's the dude stumbling in. And this man had a fire in his eyes, like he was on a mission. So he's getting closer and closer to me, but right before he gets close enough to where I really would have started to worry, he changes his course and starts walking towards the front counter instead. So I'm like, alright, that could have been bad, but it was a brief sigh of relief, right? And then he walks behind the counter and just starts like going through stuff, and eventually he grabs a drink cup. And the strange thing was that nobody was doing anything. Like, all the employees just continued working like this was a completely normal, everyday occurrence. You know, nothing unusual to see here. And it probably was, to be honest. That's kind of the vibe. And so he walks out from behind the counter with his cup and walks over to the drink station to fill up the cup that he just took. I will mention it was Baja Blast, so I gotta give him props on that because that's the only acceptable drink option when you go to Taco Bell. Simple. But anyways, his focus seems to be back on me now. He's giving me like side eye while he's filling up his cup, and while he's glaring at me, they call my order, so I'm like, bet, let me get my food and get out of here, because I do not like how this dude is looking at me right now. So I grab my bag and go to walk out the door when I hear like this really raspy smokers type voice go, yo, where do you think you're going? And of course it was the dude that said that, and I kind of pause for a second, turn around, and we look at each other, and I'm like, nah man, I think you're thinking of somebody else. And I start to walk towards the exit again, and he slowly starts following me, still staring me down, and he's also got both his hands in his jacket at this point, which just sussed me out even further. So I start to pick up my pace, and then he starts picking up his pace, so I start walking even faster towards the door, and he's winding in between tables, angrily muttering, trying to follow me out the door. So as I leave through the door out to like this little side area, I'm walking down the side of the building and I hear him yell. He's like, hey, from behind me. So at this point, I was basically already in a light jog, but now I'm like, let me just book it. And then he takes off behind me. So I'm running along the side of the restaurant. I'm being chased down the outside of a Taco Bell at 4 a.m. I look back, and this dude is on my tail. I didn't understand how he was so fast, because he was kind of an older guy. So I'm just trying to think, like, what does this dude want? Did I look at him wrong? Does he just want my tacos or what? I don't know. I'm just trying to get away at this point. So I'm now sprinting down the sidewalk. This dude is cruising behind me. Everybody in front of the Taco Bell is watching us, wondering what's going on. Security guards are just standing there like, yup, just another day at the Taco Bell at 4 a.m. Can't wait till I get to go home in an hour. So I'm running down the sidewalk, and as I get closer to the street, I notice the timer for the crosswalk is ticking down. It's at like 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, and then the stop symbol comes up. I look behind me, Mans is still on my tail, chugging along at full speed, and I'm like, yeah, I can't stop. I gotta run through this crosswalk so I can get back to my building. So I see that the road wasn't too busy, but there were some cars in the turn lane that were starting to turn. So I judged the distance and knew that I could safely make it across in time without getting hit. So my adrenaline is going at this point. I'm sprinting full speed towards the street, trying to make it before the turning cars come. And luckily I make it across in time with probably a good few seconds to spare. But who didn't have enough time was the dude, because all the cars start turning, blocking his path across. So he just got stuck standing there. I continued running. It was like a movie, bro. And in the time that he had to wait for the cars to finish, I was able to put enough distance between us for me to continue running back to my building. I didn't even look back, to be honest, until I got to the gates of my building. And he was still coming after me, but he was way back there and looked all out of breath. And I was all out of breath too. I walk into my room holding the Taco Bell, breathing all heavy. My roommate's like, man, you too? I'm like, yeah, these scooter companies gotta start giving us hazard pay or something. But best believe I sat down and I ate that Taco Bell because I earned that meal. And right after I sat down to eat the Taco Bell, I got up and sat down on the toilet to get rid of the Taco Bell. Nah, but for real, I hope you guys enjoyed the animation. I want to take a quick minute now to thank today's sponsor, Skillshare. And this story took place during the point in my channel where I was just starting and was trying to teach myself all the skills required to make animations. How to draw, how to animate, how to edit. And one of the most frustrating things about trying to teach yourself was having to stitch together tips and advice from random videos and websites all across the internet. Skillshare is something I wish I'd known about when I was first learning how to animate, because they're an amazing website. For example, this one class I took by Megan Freeth called Create Then Animate, Beginner Workflow in Illustrator and After Effects.
Alright, so that's it for the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. Dang. Yeah, Hobo did catch him lacking. I want to know what that man wanted. But anyway, y'all be blessed. It's your boy Season, and I'm out. Peace.